If you want to manage your finances, then what's better than turning to the greatest economist of our time? What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to another great video. The renowned economist Ben Stein has been the leading personality in personal and corporate finance and has penned down many finance books. Today, we're talking about Ben Stein, how to manage your money so you don't go broke. What problems do people face while managing money? Due to his incredible expertise in finances, in 2009, Stein was awarded the Malcolm Forbes Award for Excellence in Financial Journalism. His most recent book is titled How to Really Ruin Your Financial Life and Portfolio, in which he talks about all the mistakes that people make while managing their finances. During an interview, he said, "The education system should teach us about money. It's an incredibly big subject. I run into people all the time that don't have the first clue about what they should do about money. I know there are classes at the high school near us where we live in North Idaho during summer that do teach about personal finance, and they seem to be a useful job. In general, people just get the idea that they should buy whatever they feel like they want to buy and spend whatever they feel like they want to spend. There doesn't need to be any kind of long-term planning, because any kind of planning to match outset your liabilities, and that's a very bad thing. That definitely should be taught in school. I only recommend two classes that should be taught in school for sure: personal finance and how to get along with your wife, and neither of those is taught." Very well said. But this isn't a piece of cake. You'll have to follow the do's and don't. We'll tell you how. But before we do that, please be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to get more video updates like this. Now let's continue. Common mistakes made by people. There's a pattern of mistakes that's common in most people. If you avoid them, you can become a better master of your finances. According to Stein, the most common way would be spending what you earn and going into debt, and then getting into debt to the point that you can't recover. Most people don't go broke because they speculate too much in stocks. People who speculate a great deal in stocks can, although there are exceptions, have some knowledge of stocks and therefore don't go broke by getting into stocks. They can also go broke, and have in recent years, by buying more houses than they can afford and counting on the house itself to generate appreciation that will pay for the house. That doesn't work, as we now know. He further explains, "I'd say the main way people get into terrible financial trouble is just to spend too much money relative to their income, and that's an endemic problem in the United States of America, and that's the kind of thing that should be taught about in schools. There's no reason there shouldn't be a class. I'm thinking I should write a textbook about that. It's an awfully good idea, actually. I think I should get in talk with those that know even more than I do about planning. It's a darn good idea." How do investors ruin their portfolios? According to Ben, when you don't have a plan, you create a perfect recipe for your ruin. He says, "To ruin your portfolio is to not plan, to not take advantage of all the historical data that tells you you'll be better off buying index funds than picking stocks. If you really sincerely think you can pick stocks and outperform the market, you're in a world of hurt. If you just buy indexes and let the indexes sort of carry you along a gentle flow, you'll do much, much better." He adds, "The best way to ruin your career is to not learn any useful skills, and that unfortunately is a real serious problem that a great many Americans have." What is the best financial advice for young people? Well, apart from all the don'ts, Stein also suggests some do's that will prevent you from getting into financial trouble. He says, first, start saving regularly at a very young age. Start summer jobs or part-time jobs and save as much as you possibly can. Second, when you do save in a safe way, which I would say by buying index funds and buying funds that don't rely on stock picking. And last, make a very careful plan for how you're going to eventually retire. Even if it seems like it's an unimaginably long way away, it comes up upon you very, very quickly. Ben Stein as a personal finance expert. Aren't these suggestions really helpful? This is exactly what makes him a personal finance expert. During an interview, Stein was asked about this, to which he responded, "Well, I don't really consider myself to be a personal finance expert compared to some others. There are quite a few that know a lot more than I do. By the process of thinking about what's good for me and my family, I learned something about it, and I've been interested in that for a long time. My father was very good at personal finance, and he would tell me about it, and I became somewhat of an expert." I want to emphasize that there are many that know more about it than I do. As to a media personality, well, that just happened in large measure because people found me amusing and I did lots and lots of TV news interview shows. He added, "You can't win as a media personality unless you're in a town where there's a lot of media, which would be generally Hollywood, LA, New York, and Washington, D.C. I just happened to be at the table and that worked out very, very well. Yes, we can see how it did. Financial trouble is something that every person dreads, but if you have a perfect strategy as suggested by Ben Stein, you can bounce over it." That's it for today, guys. Hope you found this video useful. Take care and goodbye.